Hey everyone, and I'm a little late to the party regarding this topic, but I wanted to talk about the controversy surrounding the new Cleopatra TV series because, as you all know, the main character, Cleopatra, has been depicted as a black woman. Now, I'm not going to talk about whether Cleopatra was black or not, or go into percentages which would classify her maybe as being, this black, that black, or mixed, because that's not the whole point of the outrage, at least to me. What I want to talk about is why there's an outrage and why I understand that the outrage exists and what does it ultimately mean. And it also should serve as a wake-up call for all those who are still on this mantra of, oh, colour doesn't matter, oh, it just causes needless divisions, what difference does it make, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Nonsense. Look, people, groups, they care about the image of themselves, especially when it comes to their colour and phenotype, because that's the first thing that we see of you. Represents your people is your color and phenotype. Forget everything else that's associated with it. The first thing that people see is your color and phenotype. And with that being said, groups, they don't want their physical image to be tarnished with a version that doesn't fall in line with how they see themselves internally and therefore how they want to be presented to the world externally. That's just a cold, hard truth when it comes to this issue. And it's not like this Cleopatra depiction is the first time that this situation has come up. We all know the situation that took place with Jonah Turner-Smith playing Anne Boleyn and how the outrage was caused by their, Christian. Also, remember Christian Bale and co. in Exes, Gods and Kings. Now, the reason why I brought that one up because that's another Egyptian tale that was, or Egyptian storyline, shall I say, that was caused controversy. But the reaction is different, and this goes to also show about image and what I'm talking about, because the Egyptians, when it comes to Cleopatra, their complaints is, we don't believe that Cleopatra was black, or at least showing like that. That's not the skin color of Cleopatra to us. But when it comes to Exes, Gods and Kings, it wasn't the fact that they were white. No. It was the fact that there was historical inaccuracies regarding telling of the storylines, namely, or most notably, the parting of the Red Sea and how it didn't follow historical biblical text. It wasn't about skin color that time. It was about historical inaccuracies. You see where the difference lie? That's why when people talk about image and this and color and doesn't matter, of course it matters, because guess what? And this is the honest to God truth. The darker the skin, the more African the phenotype, the less desirable it is. They don't want to be depicted as an sub-Saharan African nation because that's not how they see themselves internally, and that's not how they want to be presented externally. I'll let you make up the mind as to why that's going to be a big issue for them. But don't you dare go any darker. They can go lighter. That's why when it came to Exes, Gods and Kings, it was like, oh, well, we don't like the historical inaccuracies, but yeah, we don't mind, you don't mind being depicted like that. You don't mind being depicted a bit lighter, but darker, Afrocentric phenotype, you must be crazy. And it's not as if Cleopatra was an activist in the mold of a Marcus Garvey or Malcolm X, which meant color was fundamental to the struggle. So surely that shouldn't have made a difference, but it did, because guess what? Image does mean something. It does make a difference. There is a psychological reason why image is so important to a group of people. And one of the things I also wanted to talk about this whole Egypt topic, now I'm on it with the two situations, is there's always been a fascination with Egypt when it comes to black people. It's like they always want to claim Egypt above all else. And I understand why. It took me a few years, but a few years back, I just clocked us to the reason why. And little general knowledge. Does anyone know which nation on planet Earth has the most pyramids in the world? For all those who guess Egypt, you would be wrong. It's the Sudan. Now, with that information I've just shared, why isn't the Sudan cherished or held in such a high esteem like Egypt? Because let's be honest, there wouldn't be one single detractor alive who would dare say, oh yeah, the Sudan isn't, 100% black. It will have different shades of black. Nope. Nope. In everyone's mind, the typical, stereotypical Sudanese person won't even look brown black. It will look blue, purple black. That's how black people depict Sudanese people as. So there will be no issues if they wanted to have a Cleopatra of the Sudan. There'll be no issues if they want to do anything in Sudan. But why don't they? Why do you think the reason is? And this is from black people's stance now, the same as the reason why the Egyptians care about the skin color. Because not only does it validate them from a achievement standpoint to claim Egypt for black people? We're talking about a physical imagery, a physical point of view as to what you look or how you perceive yourself to look internally to how you want it to be shown externally. Because Egypt, again, back in the day, you'll probably look like how we would consider Brazil or a Colombia to look like, very racially ambiguous, despite, people's claims are always 80% black. Don't fall for that lie. Most of them don't see themselves as being black. They see themselves probably as being mixed, but preferably white if they could. Hence why when Gods and Kings with Christian Bale and Co. was being released, the issue wasn't about skin color. The issue predominantly was about something else, because the truth be told, they probably didn't mind. But with Cleopatra, no chance. Cleopatra, of all people, meant to be the staple beauty, what all beauty is supposed to be measured on. Cleopatra, you got to be kidding me if it was a darker Afrocentric version. No chance. But that's where we are. And that's why I just don't get fooled. I don't know why. I don't get fooled by talk from people when I talk in real life and online about all this nonsense that people say, oh, it doesn't matter about this, it doesn't matter about that. Why do you care about history? Why do you be on about history? I don't get fooled by that, because these will be the same ones when it comes to their own history, their own image. If it gets changed into a likeness that they don't recognize, and this would be something trivial, not necessarily like it'd be obvious, like a Winston Churchill or something like that. I'm on about just regular smegular imagery. I'm thinking about, how you had black people in the Lord of the Rings prequel. I'm thinking of those type of things. They complain. Why? Why do you think they complain? Because the image sets the foundation of the self-esteem of a people. That's why they preach to you, don't worry about color, while they make sure that their color is held in high esteem. They make sure that their phenotype is held in high esteem against stalwarts to make sure, guess what? Psychologically, that imprints, especially upon the youth, that our look, our way of, not a way of thinking, of course, but also how our color is, how our phenotype is, it's seen in a certain way in the world. It carries weight. It carries prestige. There's a reason why there's a hierarchy in the world. It didn't just start because someone said, I like this better, or I have a preference about this. No. A lot of these things, even though a lot of people don't believe it, psychologically gets imprinted. Why? How? It all starts with image. And I'm on about physical image. Image can cover a lot of things as well, but physical image is so important. That's why when I hear certain things, I understand what it is. A lot of it's psychological, even though people may not admit it. But that's the important and the power of image. That's why this backlash has come about. I don't think a lot of people is going to even watch the TV series. That's the funniest thing. But the reason why there's a backlash is because they understand the play. So that's what I got from this whole Cleopatra backlash. Image is hell of important. Don't let no one fool you. Don't let no one fool you. But let me know your thoughts on this. Until next time.